My name is Dina. I am a designer and a furniture artist. In this tutorial, I am going to share with you the extreme makeover process of upcycling this vintage set of drawers. If you have some furniture refinishing experience and ready for beyond paint projects, this tutorial is a good option for you. I will be sharing tips and techniques that will allow you to create extreme makeover upcycling projects. If you are a beginner, do not worry. Throughout the process, I'm going to also share options of how to simplify the process, making it a good option for you if you are holding your brush for the first time. So, in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how I prepared my set of drawers for painting without sanding. I used chalk paint, and I'm going to show you the process I followed of how I blended the colors to create a good base for my decoupage paper, and how I used mica powder to enhance my color. I'm going to also show you a very easy process that you can follow to be able to apply decoupage paper like this. I'm going to also share with you the process I followed in creating those pretty golden stripes and the painting process I used to create this metallic feel of a green paint. And throughout this process, I will be giving options of how you can do it if you have experience or if you are just starting. I will also show you how I used stencils to decorate the sides of the drawers in a way that complements my project. This tutorial is detailed with multiple chapters, so feel free to skip through chapters as needed. of the set of drawers. I'm going to mix a little bit on the sides here. So I'm just going to give it a quick first coat. Nothing fancy yet, but later on there's going to be more mixing and matching with mica powders and different shades of overnight, and I will be applying the decoupage paper on the front, and on the sides is going to be green inspired by Wicked color. I just saw the movie and I loved it, and the musical is my favorite as well. So that was a good inspiration for me to get going with this project, because I didn't have the green paint for a long time. I'm going to show you a very easy way to apply this decoupage paper, and the surface here is flat. I do have another tutorial to show you how to work around a piece of furniture that has more curves, so you can check it out. This one is more straight, and also this image here, I am not aiming for a distressed look. So with this one, definitely I need a straight surface for it. But also this, I don't know if you can see it, the drawers here has some curve on it. So I'm going to apply a different way of how I usually do it. And this set of drawers is also not very heavy, so I'm gonna be able to flip it. The first thing I wanna do is remove the drawers, and I'm going to put them in the right order. So the first one is gonna be on the bottom here. And the second one on top of it, because I do not want to forget. I think they are all identical and would fit anywhere, but I do not want to take this risk. This one is not very heavy, so why not to make life easier? And of course I want to avoid breakage or areas where I have to recover in my image as much as possible in this here. So I'm going to be applying it this way, and I need to, of course, remove the wrinkles, and using steam iron is the best way to do it. Be careful, this is usually hot. So I'm going to start with my Mod Podge here, and I'm just going to start here. Always keep your hands clean and dry. So work in small areas. Especially in the beginning. Once you have the first stop right, then everything else follows. I'm going to keep those insides here clean. I'm going to show you next why I'm doing this. And I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop at this line here. I'm not going to pull it all the way through, and I'm going to have a different design here to complement this image. So you're going to see this next. And as I said earlier, I'm going to also be using mica powder later on to do more extreme metallic green and blue shades of color. And I'm going to show you how you can create your own metallic color using the mica powder. Okay, looks perfect. While I'm waiting for the corners to dry, I'm going to work on this area here. So here is the end, and this is the line where my decoupage paper, I'm going to cut it here later on. So this area I don't need, but I'm gonna keep it for now. And I'm going to use paint tape, and I'm taping over the area that I know I'm gonna cut. So I'm not taping where this is the line we have. So I'm keeping this for now, and I'm gonna tape it. And you're gonna see now why I do this. And go like this. Okay. And this area here I'm going to cut later on, but now I want to keep it and use it as a support for my project. And of course I'm doing all of this because I am aiming for perfect image. If I want to create a distressed look, I would definitely be doing it differently. And I have other tutorials where I show how to do it for like a more rustic distressed look. Now I'm going to start working on the drawer area where the drawers should go. So this is my corner here. So I'm going to put some water here, only around the edges. I don't want it all to get wet. It's fine if it does, but I want to focus on where I want to cut. I'm going to use a very sharp blade, so if you're going to do this, be careful for the opening of my drawer, and that's why I want it to dry a little bit. And make sure I precisely cut where I need to cut. And again, if you don't cut it perfect, and that might also happen to me, you can always fix it with painting over the images. So this decoupage paper is very resilient, and you know, everything can be fixed. Just try as much as possible. Calming and satisfying. So see, it's a little bit dry here, so it's ripping my decoupage paper, so that's why you want to keep water with next to you. Okay, some glue came out here, which is perfectly normal. So I'm just gonna make sure. And this area here, I have a wrinkle in it, which I don't like. So I'm gonna try to fix this now while I can. So I'll come back to it later on. I'll keep cutting from here. And that's why I had the tape on the side, because it's holding this for me, so I can cut like this. But you can still do this if it's up front. I have some wrinkles here, so it's going to be the time where you can just pull it out. And in one of my other decoupage paper tutorials, and you have a card here to show you where that is and how you can find it, I also have a whole technique on how to use syringe and needle to remove air bubbles. So even if you have an air bubble, it can be fixed. So you can check that, my other tutorial for that as well. Here it is. It's all out now. Because I have all those openings, so now I can also push out any air bubbles I might have or wrinkles. So now when I want to put back the piece of the decoupage paper that should be on the drawer, as I said, because this has a curve to it, it's not exactly flat. It's not going to be covering the whole thing. And I'm going to line up the image closer to how it was in the original image as much as possible. And you have to pick your battles in a situation like this, because when I line up the flower here, I'm going to basically lose a little bit of that. This plant here is not necessarily lining up, but also this is more important. Same. So what I'm going to go with is to line up, especially the bigger flower in the middle, because this is where the eye goes, and I'm going to start with this one. So if this is lined up perfect here, that's what I care about. And see, this flower is not going to be perfectly lined up, but I can also correct that with painting on top of it. So I'm going to start from the middle, actually, not from the side, because this is the important piece that I am focusing on. This flower here is the most important thing, and if I get this right, everything else will fall in the right place. And again, And this is also far away. And also another thing, I'm going to have my hardware on the sides here, so it's going to cover a lot. So imperfection here on the side is totally doable. And this decoupage paper is honestly perfect for a project like this because it's a little bit thicker than like the tissue paper, decoupage paper, and for something like this, it's perfect. And the image, the colors are very vibrant. See here on the side, I have a space, and that is something I can basically come back and paint over it later on and fix easily. And this way also, because the way I cut it, it makes it easy. Also keep a towel next to you, and especially when you are doing something like this after you already applied your and always trust the process. It might get messy at some point, but keep going because I feel all my air bubbles are out. It's not an area I'm going to touch again, so I'm going to be sealing it from the top. I did not seal the sides yet from the top because I might still have to maneuver things around them. But definitely this one is ready to be sealed. To cut the other two drawers openings next, so feel free to skip to the next chapter, so to see the next part of the process, or if you feel you want to see more of this part, feel free to keep watching, but you have an option to skip to the next chapter. I connect my flower. So here also I'm going to start from the middle because this flower is the center of this design and the way how I'm placing it. So I'm going to go with that now. And you can still apply this without a little is back and the decoupage paper on the front is where it should be. So I'm going to do final sealing for the front next, and next chapter, and feel free to skip to that, I'm going to start working on this end where I'm going to start mixing mica powder to create metallic color. And now this is the time where I'm going to Another thing I want to talk about is the choice of colors. Obviously, I decided I'm going to go with the green as my main color. There's going to be gold at the end for sure. There is no way there's green without gold in my dictionary in life. These two, green always needs gold with it. I'm going to use a little bit of blue, and I am going to use a little bit of orange. And I'm going to metallic feel to it with mica powder. So I'm going to use some Tupperware that has cover because I'm going to do extra, because I'm going to also use some of the paint on the sides and the top. So if I don't get to it today and I have another coat to do tomorrow, I can cover it and not lose it. So of course, getting my gloves first. So this is the blue I'm going to have a little bit in the center here. And this is a little bit dry because I had it for a while. So it will work. I'm gonna add some water to it. White. So this is a nice green I have from Mica Powder. This is this kind of more green. Use this silver white kind of powder because it will give me more of the white I want, but without being really white. I'm not going to totally mix all the mica powder I have because I have extras here and I can use my brush to put more or less as I go with my project. Remove this extra tape I had here. If I was going to do blend in, I would tear it by hand, but I do not want to blend it. I want it to be straight line, and I'm going to add some gold on it later on. Okay, so this is the extra piece. If I can do it in a different way, so I'm going to bring this here. tapping because I want the mica powder to stick. Opportunity to do it. Also how I'm going to use the gold mica powder to enhance my metallic color for the stripes, and I'm going to show you how you can do it in a way to avoid paint bleeding as much as possible. So I'm going to use this new metallic paint I started to use, and I'll put also the name in the description. So first clean lines with this bleeding is to have less paint on the brush. So I'm going to bring it here, add my mica powder here, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to do some tapping in different places because I don't want the mica powder to be, I want it to look like more of a distressed mica powder versus solid one gold color. I can always go back and do more, but I like to start with thin layers because also I'm not looking for solid gold coverage here. I just want to have this is the stencil paper I'm going to use here, and it has a floral kind of style that will complement the image I have on the front. I'm going to cut this because to remove this and see if it worked. Slowly. Oh, it looks so nice. Oh my god. I did the stencil paper and the paint with the mica powder on this side as well. Next, how I am going to blend it in with my piece, because I like my project to look like a holistic project. It's really pretty here. So I have my set of drawers here now, and before I put the drawers back, what I did also, I added more Mod Podge here to make sure those pieces and areas beside the drawers are sealed very well. So it's dry now, and I'm going to bring I have my drawers back where they belong now. Next thing I'm going to be working on is to blend the pieces around the drawers here to the image. So I'm going to be doing some drawing here, but also it is honestly perfect as is. So if you don't like to draw, or you are worried about that, or even you want to just do more of the gold wax process, then you can skip to the next chapter, because because the way how I did my decoupage paper, I did am done with the retouching on the front, and I still need to do the gold wax, and I still also need to do the sides of the drawer, and I am going to also fix some of the, I need to do retouching here as well. But as I said earlier, before I do the final finishes, especially with the gold, I like to see how my new hardware is going to look like, especially in this case. This is the original one, which is pretty one, and of course the color is not going to match now. I could have made it shinier or more gold, but I'm going to keep it for a different project because I like the brass look of it and I want to maintain this. Plus I want something more romantic in the shape, so that's why I'm gonna go with this one I have, and you know, as you can see, it's very gold, so that's why I want to see how this looks like before I start adding more gilding. And I think it looks gorgeous with this. And you want to see also how I'm going to do the side with some kind of a green addition, not gold, because again this is a lot, and there's going to be final decoration touches I'm going to do at the end, so you want to see this. But so I have my new hardware now, and I think it looks very pretty. Next I'm going to do the wax gilding, and I'm going to still do the sides. And I'm going to show you at the end how I'm going to seal this one, because of all the acrylic paint I have and the mica powder. I'm not going to be doing waxing this time. So I have my gilding wax, and I'm not going to do a lot, and that's why I put the hardware here, because I want to see how and I still have some. I'm gonna also do some gilding, gold wax here, but it's not fully dry here. I did some retouching, so I'm gonna let it dry a little bit, but I'm going to start with a little bit around the drawers here. It still look nice as is, and this is totally optional. I like to basically give a frame to the drawers because I want it also to be a set of drawers. Drawers out now, and I have them stacked in order. So this is first, second, third, and this is going to be this way up. So I want to make sure I get this right, because I want to put the stencil paper the right way, and I'm using the same one that I use on the side because I like to bring elements from other sides of the piece I'm working on to make sure it looks like a whole piece. the drawers. I'm going to bring the green. I used the mini green I've been using in this project. Perfect. While I have my drawers out, I'm going to wax them as well, let them dry before putting them back. And I'm going to go with the white wax again, because I want them to also whitewash a little bit. So this is a great way of doing this. I'm going to use this kind of little bit green, light green mica powder. I'm not going to put a lot. I want it to get like a hint of a green, but I don't want it to be covered with green. Just a little bit. Okay, this is a lot more green than I see. And feel free to drop me a comment and tell me what you like to see next. I have a lot of projects coming up. So I'm going to do the same thing for the rest of the drawers, leave them outside a little bit, let it dry before I put them back, and do the final seal for my project. Is almost finished. I'm going to show you what I'm going to use next to do the final seal. And if you like my video, please hit like and subscribe so you can get notifications for all my upcoming videos. Drop me answer any questions you might have, so feel free to put this in the comment, and also let me know what you'd like to see me doing next. So for sealing this, I'm going to use the bare transparent wax, and what I did, I put it next to my heater for a couple of hours. It's cold here, so I put it next to the heater vent, and I'm going to use my acrylic paint brush because I do not want to have any brush strikes. I'm going to use my acrylic paint brush. So now, because I did heat it a little bit, or I did warm it a little bit, it's more smoother, and I'm just going to apply it like this, and it's going to give my piece of furniture the final seal it needs. So I'm going to apply this all over the place, and then I'm going to show you how it's going to be.